Hare Krishna. I offer my humble obeisances to all the devotees at ISKCON Sheshadripuram. Very happy to be amongst all of you tonight. I was asked by Krishna Prabhu to speak on this beautiful pastime of Bharat Maharaj in the fifth canto of Bhagavatam. This pastime is very instructive. This morning we discussed something from the teachings of Lord Rishabhadev, and evening we are discussing Rishabhadev's first son, Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj's story is very instructive for all sadhakas for multiple reasons. One prominent reason that I can highlight right in the beginning is Bharat Maharaj's the importance of Vaishnava Sangha, association of Vaishnavas. You may say, when did Bharat Maharaj associate with Vaishnavas? Yes, he did at some point. His father was giving him spiritual teachings, and he was sitting with his 99 brothers and hearing all the teachings. Definitely, he was hearing in the association of devotees. But after his retirement, somehow he was alone doing his bhakti, doing his spiritual practices. At that time, he did not have association. That lack of association is one of the reasons for his distraction or deviation in bhakti. One of the prominent lessons from the episode of Bharat Maharaj is that without the association of devotees, there is every possibility of getting distracted or deviated from the path of bhakti, even if you go up to bhava stage. So let's begin the story a little more organically. Bharat Maharaj was the son of Rishabhadev. After Rishabhadev ruled the Ajana Bhavarshar Bharatavarsha for a long time, he retired and offered the kingdom to Bharat Maharaj. And Bharat also ruled for thousands and thousands of years, and at the right time he retired. During his rule, he was following the footsteps of his father and grandfather, and he was ruling the kingdom in a very exemplary manner, treating his citizens like his children. And he was conducting so many sacrifices. Apparently, these sacrifices may seem like karmakandic sacrifices, in which worship of different devatas is also included. But while offering oblations in the sacrificial fire, Bharat Maharaj was meditating on the limbs of the Lord. As we understand from various scriptures, all these devatas are like different limbs of the Lord. Shriyo nivaso yasyoraha panapatram mukham darshan bahavo lokapalanam saranganam padambujam Shriyo nivaso yasyoraha. Shri means Lakshmi Devi resides in the chest of the Supreme Lord. Panapatram mukham darshan. The beautiful face of the Lord is like a vessel that contains all beauty. For those who want to drink the nectar of beauty through their eyes, they need to see the beautiful form of Krishna. Panapatram mukham darshan. The next point is Bahavo Lokapalana. All the devatas are like the arms of the Lord. So here in this one little shloka, the devatas are compared to the arms of the Lord, but there are many other descriptions where different devatas are compared to different limbs of the Lord. The sun and the moon are like the eyes of the Lord. So noticing or knowing that all the devatas are universal administrators, are the limbs of Lord Vasudeva's body, Bharat Maharaj was meditating on the limbs of the Lord as he was offering oblations in the sacrificial fire. Basically, Bharat Maharaj was thoroughly Krishna conscious during his rule of his kingdom. So, like that, several thousands of years passed. Bharat was still young. He was of a different era. How can thousands of years pass and still he's young? Yes. The lifespan, don't compare his lifespan with the lifespan of a typical Kaliyuga person who might become old in 20, 30 years only. Anyways, Bharat Maharaj retired. This morning also we were discussing how this great Rajarshis like Bharat Maharaj rule with responsibility and retire at the right time with all detachment. They don't want to hold on to their posts till the fag end of their lives. The success of all these leaders is to create able successors to carry on the legacy. And they have no attachment to the throne or power or position or privileges or followers. They're attached to Krishna. And on behalf of Krishna, as representatives of Krishna, they simply take care of the kingdom as caretakers, not as rulers. Their rule is care. In this way, Bharat Maharaj ruled for a long time and he retired. He went to Palahashram, and at that place, sacred place, river Gandaki flows and they find different shaligrams. And Bharat Maharaj was doing his intense austerities and he was worshipping the Supreme Lord, meditating on him at Palahashram, and he was happy. He was absorbed in his bhakti. However, this material world is such that this material world is such that even if you are very well situated in spiritual life, even if you are in good standing in your practice of Krishna consciousness, still Maya is extremely powerful that it can distract us. She can distract us or deviate us, however absorbed we may be in our practice. That's why Prabhupada writes in the third canto, ninth chapter, a sadhaka should have fear of fall down and constantly pray for protection. Fear of fall down and prayer for protection. These two are required for a sadhaka to survive in bhakti. However experienced one may be in the practice of bhakti, however exalted one may be in one's devotional status, one can never underestimate the power of Maya. Yes, definitely, very advanced devotees will be unaffected by Maya, but those who are still sadhakas, those who are not still very mature in their practice of bhakti, they must fear Maya. So Bharat Maharaj attained the stage of Bhava. Bharat Maharaj is not an ordinary devotee. He had no lust. He had no envy. He had absolutely no greed. There is Hindi translation happening at the back.
हिंदी अनुवाद गौरदेव के पास
हिंदी अनुवाद
गौरदेव के पास
गरुड़देव
गौरदेव के पास
गरुड़देव के पास
थैंक यू
हिंदी अनुवाद. Thank you.
थैंक यू
Where were we? He went to Garudadev. Yeah, Bharat Maharaj had absolutely no lust, no envy, no pride. He does not have anarthas that an ordinary conditioned soul might have, generally speaking. And on top of it, he had many good qualities like compassion, gratitude, and many such good qualities. As a king, he has this quality of protecting the surrendered souls and serving them. So, even through one's good qualities, Maya can catch us. Ultimately, we are supposed to cultivate good qualities like gratitude, compassion, satisfaction, tolerance, humility, all these things. However, there is some common sense and discretion expected from a sadhaka in exhibiting these good qualities also. Gratitude is a great quality. Someone did some help to you, you received that favor from them, and you are grateful to them. You are looking forward for an opportunity to serve them. That's amazing. Wonderful quality. Gratitude is kritagnata, right? Krita, gna. Krita means that which is done for you. Gna means to remember, to be aware, to not forget. So kritagnata means to never forget the favors that one has received from others, to never forget what others have done to us. And not only not forgetting, but also reciprocating with them, acknowledging and reciprocating with them with some service. That is gratitude. And having gratitude is a great quality. But he must have done some help to you, and you are grateful to him, and he's expecting some help from you at a different time, and you're supposed to help. But if the kind of help that he is expecting from you is against morals, ethics, principles, will you do that for the person? In our kids class, I asked uh, one child, you're grateful to your friend because your friend has done some help to you. Now, the next day, your friend comes and asks you to steal Mahaprasad from the altar. Will you do it for him? I said, no, hey, you're grateful. You're supposed to help. You're supposed to expect, you're supposed to fulfill their expectation. When they helped you, you should also do something to help them. "Ah, I can help, but not this way." A child has that common sense. In the name of gratitude, you cannot lose discrimination. Humility, good. You have to be humble. Tolerance, amazing. Pranadapi sunichana tarorapi sahishnana. But in the name of humility and tolerance, you need not allow others to exploit you, right? Unnecessarily. Arjuna said, I will tolerate all the injustices done by Duryodhan. I will not fight. After all, they are my relatives. Even if they are greedy for kingdom, I am not greedy for kingdom. Therefore, I will not fight. Then Krishna said, no, 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 you have to fight. No, Krishna himself gave the teaching of tolerance. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhada agamapayi no nityaha tam stitikshasva bharata. He exhibit titiksha, tolerance. Arjuna said, yes, I will tolerate all that is done by Duryodhana. Then Krishna says, I told you to tolerate dualities, not injustice. I told you to tolerate happiness and distress, heat and cold, not injustice. Now you don't tolerate their injustice, you fight with them, you kill them, then you tolerate the pain of separation from them. Arjun says, why kill and why later tolerate the pain of separation? I will not kill only. But Krishna says, no, they have done injustice, right? We have to kill. Huh? If they have done injustice, we should not tolerate. So we cannot exhibit tolerance blindly. We cannot exhibit humility blindly. We cannot exhibit gratitude blindly. Similarly, we cannot exhibit compassion blindly. And that's the lesson from Bharat Maharaj's episode. When Bharat Maharaj, one day in the early morning, he went to Gandaki river doing his rituals and Sandhyavandan, etc. Then he saw a pregnant deer, came there just to drink some water. The deer was thirsty. Suddenly, the deer heard the roar of a lion and the lion or tiger, I don't remember. Tiger? Lion, I think, lion. Lion. And the deer became very afraid and just wanted to leap across the river, but somehow had a miscarriage. and the baby deer fell down, and the mother deer died. So definitely seeing that scene, anybody will feel pity, compassion. Just because you know some philosophy, that does not mean you become hard-hearted. Our understanding of philosophy should not kill our emotions, but should only protect us from being overly emotional, right? So philosophy is not meant to kill our emotions, but philosophy is meant to give us the rational understanding and practical understanding of life and not become too emotional or sentimental at times. But you should have emotions. So seeing that scene, anybody will feel pity and compassion. So Bharat also felt compassion. So he picked up that motherless baby deer in his arms, brought him to his ashram, and started feeding some food. Till this point, it is fine, great. He's compassionate after all. Because he's a king, he has this protective capability. He has ability and intention to protect people, give protection to the needy. So he did that. He exhibited that quality, definitely. So bringing the deer to his ashram, feeding him some grass, all these are fine. But the problem began there because Maya is catching him through his quality of compassion. Through his good quality of compassion, Maya caught him. Because he did not have bad qualities of lust, envy, pride, greed. Therefore, Maya caught him through his good quality. And the good quality is compassion. And Maya made him a victim of misplaced compassion. Bharat started thinking that I must protect this deer. I must offer the necessary care that the deer needs, even at the cost of compromising on my spiritual practices. Even if it disturbs my sadhana, I should protect this deer. Now he's overly protecting the deer, overly caring for the deer. He's giving more care than the deer needed. Give him some grass and then let him do whatever. After all, it's a jungle animal. But he forgot his rituals, he forgot his sadhana, he forgot his meditation, he forgot his sacrifices, he forgot his prayers. He completely neglected his sadhana at one point and always thinking about the deer. So his Krishna consciousness was sidelined, his deer consciousness came in the foreground. To that degree, he was compassionate, right? So being passionate can be a symptom of Maya's attack, but sometimes being compassionate also can be a symptom of Maya's attack. Passion or compassion, Maya has unlimited ways to attack a conditioned soul. So let us be aware. वदन्ति विश्वं कवयस्मनश्वरं पश्यन्ति चाध्यात्मविदो विपश्चितः तथापि मुह्यन्ति तवाजमायया सुविस्मितं कृत्यमजं नतोऽस्मितम्. In the fifth canto of Bhagavatam, the residents of Jambudvipa offer this prayer to the Lord. Vadanti Vishwam Kavayasmanashwaram. There are so many kavis, great philosophers, Vipashchitaha. They are very experienced and seasoned philosophers. So these philosophers, these preachers, are completely convinced about the futility of material enjoyment. They're completely convinced about the temporary nature of material enjoyment. It's not that means they can convince you. They can convince others also about the futility of material enjoyment and temporary nature of material existence. But tathapi muhyanti tavajaya. The Lord's Maya is so powerful that tathapi muhyanti Maya can bewilder even such exalted personalities, such great philosophers, such preachers. Suvismitam krityamajam natosmitam. Suvismitam means they can be thoroughly bewildered by Maya. How can one be overconfident? Having some confidence is okay, but being overconfident, oh, Maya cannot attack. I'm chanting since 10 years. 16 rounds. पता है क्या? You keep butter in fridge for 10 years. You take it out and put it in fire. It will not melt. I have kept it for 10 years. It's fine, but you're keeping it in fire. So, unless you're a stone, fire can melt butter. So, uh, we should not underestimate Krishna's mercy. At the same time, we should not underestimate Krishna's Maya also. So, Maya's job is to test how serious are we. And the more serious we are becoming in bhakti, Maya can put more serious tests. Krishna's protection is there definitely, that's our hope. But Krishna also expects us to become more and more serious. And that's why Krishna allows Maya to test his devotees more and more with more intense problems. A struggling neophyte sadhaka has small problems. I'm dozing off in Jaipur. But someone who is seasoned practitioner, they will have bigger problems. They may not sleep in Jaipur, but they have some other bigger issues. Uh, so tests are there at all stages of sadhana bhakti. So Bharat Maharaj has completely forgotten his sadhana. And even when he is doing his sadhana meditation, time to time he will just open his eyes, look in the direction where the deer is, uh, and just relish the pastimes of the deer. Just like we also, when we are chanting, time to time we'll take our mobile and then see, check some messages and then go. So this is our deer. Right? The deer in Kali Yuga is this. So Bharat Maharaj had a smart deer. While we have smartphones, we have smart deer. So that killed his smartness. So he became totally distracted and deviated. And to cut the long story short, so Bharat Maharaj was so absorbed in the thoughts of the deer that while he goes out into the forest to collect some ingredients for his worship and sacrifice, flowers or fruits or roots or some sticks, etc., he would take the deer along with him. And he will allow the deer to walk on very soft pathways, and he will walk on muddy and thorny pathways. So he is wanting to always give some comforts to the deer. Actually, everybody needs an object of affection. So everybody needs an object of affection. So when they don't have the right object of affection, Jagannathji, that affection is diverted towards undeserving people. So affection has to be there on all living entities ultimately. But that affection must be exhibited on a spiritual platform, not a material platform. A devotee is not attached to liberation. A devotee doesn't aspire to attain liberation, but a devotee definitely aspires to show compassion on common people. Parikshit Maharaj, what did he pray? Punascha bhuya bhagavatyanante ratihi prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsu yamya upayami srishtim maitriyastu sarvatra namodvijebhyah. Punascha bhuya bhagavatyanante. If at all I have to take birth again in this world, Bhagavatyanante ratihi, I need three things. Number one, attraction towards the Lord. Bhagavati anante ratihi. Then prasangascha tadashrayeshu. I want association of his devotees. Third, maitriyastu sarvatra. I want loving friendship with all living entities. So devotee aspires to have loving relationships with all living entities. That's good. But that love, that relationship must have a spiritual foundation, not bodily relationship. It must be spiritual relationship. So all the great acharyas are compassionate on common people, but they exhibited their compassion on a spiritual platform. As Prabhupada writes in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, purports, displaying compassion for the dress of a drowning man is foolishness. Right? When somebody is drowning, wearing a very expensive suit, expensive watch, diamond rings, and an iPhone in the pocket, what will he protect? He'll protect the ring, he'll protect the watch, he'll protect the suit, he'll protect the iPhone. What will he protect? The person? Even if the phone or the watch or ring drowns, no problem. Let the person come out of the water. So that's what is the concern of an intelligent person. So taking it to the next level, the person has to exhibit compassion on others on spiritual platform, not on material platform. Yes, when somebody is hungry, you can feed food, no problem. You feed prasadam. That's amazing. There is a spiritual connection. Through the body, you are touching the soul. Right? But completely ignoring their spiritual identities and being overly concerned only about their material bodies is what is the problem of Bharat Maharaj at this point. He was only taking care of the material comforts of the deer and not considering that this deer cannot come to Krishna consciousness. After all, it's an animal. So, uh, Prabhupada writes in his purports, Bharat Maharaj at the level of Bhava, he became distracted in bhakti because of attachment to a deer. Without such advancement in bhakti or bhava stage, if somebody gets attached to the animals in this material world, what will happen? So that is Prabhupada's question in the purports. So Bharat Maharaj was totally lost, and at one point, the deer left Bharat Maharaj and went away. So deer could not understand the emotions of Bharat Maharaj. Very important lesson from the episode of Bharat Maharaj. Sometimes we invest our time, we invest our energy, we invest our emotions in certain relationships which are not worthy. We overly, unduly develop affection or attraction or love towards people who may not have similar feelings towards us. Any experiences of may not be personal experience, at least witnessing someone. This person is loving this person so much, but this person has absolutely no love towards this person. It happens in this world very much. Uh, so Bharat loved this deer so much, but the deer could never understand the emotions of Bharat Maharaj. Just wandered into the forest. And Bharat is feeling intense separation from the deer. Yasya kshanav yogena loko hyapriyadarshanaha ukthena rahito hiyasha mritakaha procyate yatha. Just like when Krishna departed from this world, Arjuna was thinking, Yasya kshanav yogena. Even a moment of separation from Krishna can render all the universes void. They appear like dead bodies devoid of life. So this is what Arjuna was thinking in separation from Krishna. Similarly, Bharat Maharaj was overwhelmed with feelings of separation from the deer. Instead of feeling separation from Krishna, he is feeling separation from the deer. When Krishna departed from this world, Mother Earth is lamenting. Kavasa heta viraham purushottamasya premavalokaricurasmitavalgu jalpaihi स्थैर्यं समानमहरन् मधुमानिनीनां रोमोत्सवो मम यदङ्घ्रिविटङ्किताय कावासहेतविरहं पुरुषोत्तमस्य. Who can tolerate the pangs of separation from Purushottama? Krishna. So all the great devotees are feeling separation from Krishna while living in this world. And leaving Krishna, as I said, Bharat Maharaj is feeling separation from the deer. And the deer just ignorantly wandered into the forest, not even acknowledging or knowing or being aware of the emotions of Bharat Maharaj. Sometimes in this world, we are more attached to certain people than the deserving ones. In ignorance, we ignore those people who love us and who care for us, and we start loving people, those who don't care for us. Especially it happens in youth. Not only youths, at all stages of life, it is possible. We ignore, in ignorance, we ignore people who love us, and we embrace people. We try to embrace people who may not have any affection for us. This is the nature of Maya. And who loves us the most? Krishna. Krishna loves us more than anyone else in the entire cosmos. Who, who can love us more than the person who always stays with us within our hearts, right within our hearts? Right inside our hearts, He's staying always. Even if the living entity commits such abominable, sinful activities and takes birth as vermin, stool, or ant, uh, or a snake, or a scorpion, Krishna doesn't leave that soul. Krishna accompanies that soul as super soul, Paramatma, and stays right within the hearts of those living entities. Who can love us more than that? Even if somebody's family members or friends love a person, that love is mostly restricted within that one lifetime. As long as a person is within the body, that love exists. Reciprocation may exist. And even that within that one lifetime also there are so many issues in that relationship. But real love is, even though there is every reason to break the relationship does not break. That is real love. When others act against our interests, against our expectations, against our will, we feel like breaking our relationship with those persons. Right? But how many millions of times we have acted against Krishna's will, but still Krishna wants to continue relationship with us. That means he loves us. He really loves us. He loves us more than anybody else. This is the proof. Although we are not sufficiently eager to revive or maintain a relationship with Krishna, Krishna is eternally eager to maintain relationship with us because he loves us. This is real love. This is true love. This is eternal love. There can be no other form of love that is superior to this love that Krishna has for all of us. Many times, love, so called love, can be a attachment to either the physical form of the other person or the opulences or the influence the other person has, money, or sometimes or many times in this material world, that love is based on so many material considerations, selfish considerations. But only Krishna can selflessly and eternally love us. But ignoring that love, that loving relationship with Krishna, ignorant people start investing their love and emotions on undeserving people who may not have the intention or ability to reciprocate with our love. Bharat is one example. Let's talk about Ajamil. Ajamil had so much love for his son Narayana. Whether he's eating or sleeping or drinking something or walking or whatever he's doing, he's saying, Narayana, come, eat with me. Narayana, come, you please drink this juice with me. Narayana, come. Like, it's a time for you to sleep, sleep. So he's constantly calling Narayana, 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 not the Lord, his son. Ajamil was so absorbed in his love and emotions for his child. But when Ajamil was on the deathbed, seeing these twisted faces of the Yamadutas, he was very anxious, very fearful, and out of anxiety, in a helpless state, he was chanting, Narayana, 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 Narayana. He's calling his son. But the son, a small boy, he could not understand the condition of his father, who loved him so much. This boy is not so intelligent or developed enough to understand the emotions of his father, just as the deer could not understand the emotions of Bharat Maharaj. This boy Narayana could not understand the emotions of Ajamil. But Lord Narayana understood the emotions of Ajamil. Right? Because he chanted 4 syllables, Narayana, he had sent 4 Vishnu Dutas to protect this Ajami. See, who loves us the most? He invested all his emotions on this little child, and the child is playing with toys, and the father is dying. Right? One more example you want? Go to 9th canto of Bhagavatam. There is Pururava. You know Pururava? He had so much of love, affection, or infatuation, or obsession for Urvasi. And they had some one little conflict, and Urvasi left him. And although Urvasi left him, his Pururava left his kingdom and started pursuing her, begging her, pleading her. Why did you go? Why did you leave me? Please, come back to me. He's begging. One day he met her at Kurukshetra. He started begging. And she had to give her counseling. Relax. You are a Chakravarti. You are an emperor. You are supposed to be setting example for all your citizens. What is this nature? You are just running behind a woman like me. I don't belong to this earthly planet. I am coming from upper planets, Gandharva Loka. How can you even desire me like this? So she started giving a counseling session. But that counseling did not affect him at all. Pururava, he's so obsessed. And so many things he did. He worshipped Gandharvas, he did some yajna. Ultimately he got him, and then finally he was frustrated. So the love, so-called love that he had for Urvasi, Urvasi never had for him. Otherwise she would not have left him. So many times a conditioned soul invests so much of love and emotions in certain relations. Not that you should not love people. You should be kind, you should be compassionate, you should be grateful. But not at the cost of ignoring our relationship with Krishna. When we keep Krishna as the center of your relationships, then they become spiritual relationships. But when we ignore Krishna, take Krishna out of our interactions with people, and just start interacting with them on material platform, bodily platform, for selfish enjoyment, bodily enjoyment, then at the end we'll only get frustration, nothing else. Wasting valuable time in human life. It's an important lesson that Bharat Maharaj's story is teaching us. So Bharat Maharaj was lamenting in separation from the deer. And the deer left him. And with the thoughts of the deer, Bharat Maharaj died. He left his body. And Krishna immediately applied 8.6 formula. What is 8.6 formula? Yam yam vapisvaran bhavam tyajatyante kalivaram. So, whatever status of consciousness you are in at the time of leaving the body, you will attain that. That is Krishna's teaching in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna just applied that formula. Can't Krishna give some concession? He is on bhava stage. We understand he became overly attached to the deer. He was thinking about the deer at the time of leaving the body. Fine. Not fine. But still, Krishna could have given him some concession, right? But Krishna made him a deer. He awarded him deer body. Now you can become a lawyer in the court of Krishna, and Krishna is there a judge. And you start saying, Your Honor, please give some concession to Bharat Maharaj. After all, he was a very exalted devotee. If a struggling sadhaka or a conditioned soul thinks of an animal at the time of leaving the body, you can make him an animal, but not Bharat Maharaj. Please consider all the seva he has done. Then Krishna replies, I know him more than you. You don't have to become a lawyer, self-appointed lawyer. I have given him a deer body, but I have given him human consciousness. Which deer is completely aware of the past life, of the past devotional service he has done in the previous life. Bharat, in the form of a deer, is completely aware of all the worship he has done in the past life, And he also was aware of the reason why he became a deer in this life, because of over attachment to the deer. So apparently the Lord has given him a severe punishment of entering into an animal body. But actually, on a spiritual plane, the Lord is allowing Bharat Maharaj to advance in bhakti. Dear Bharat is more spiritually advanced than King Bharat. He's king, he's the ruler of the planet. After his name, this planet is called Bharatavarsha. But still, dear Bharat is more spiritually advanced than Bharat. So you may see, deer Bharat is more advanced. When you see a deer, now, how many people have the ability to assess the spiritual position of a deer? Uh, Unrecognized. This deer Bharat's spiritual position is unrecognized by anybody on the planet. Nevertheless, that deer Bharat is more spiritually advanced than the most celebrated King Bharat. Because in the eyes of people, he may not be very spiritually advanced, but in the eyes of Krishna, one can be very, very spiritually advanced. Spiritual advancement does not depend on the recognition that we get from the public. Therefore, let us never be carried away by the popularity of a person or the visibility of a person. There are so many gems, there are so many exalted devotees who are hardly known to anybody on the planet. You see? What's going on in their spiritual lives, at what stage are they in their spiritual journey, we may not assess, but Krishna knows. When I was traveling in the US, I went to multiple places. At some places, I found some devotees who are so absorbed in their bhakti, who are so gentle, who are very humble, very down to earth, very sincere souls, very knowledgeable in our scriptures, very respectful to Vaishnavas, but not many people know them, right? Just because people are not aware of your presence on the planet, that does not mean that person is any less. Or just because most people know who this person is, that does not mean he's the exalted devotee. Right? So popularity and purity may not always go together. Right? Just because somebody is popular, he may not be pure. Just because somebody is pure, he may not be popular. It's fine. In fact, pure devotees run away from popularity also. But for preaching, some devotees may be visible amongst people. But you see the example of Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri that was running away from popularity. Anyways, let's come back to dear example. Uh, these scriptures are like an ocean. While discussing one pastime, we may remember 10 other related pastimes. While discussing one shloka, you remember 1,000 other related shlokas. But and sometimes we get lost in so many examples, so many perspectives, so many lessons, in so many shlokas, in so many pastimes. But it's good. It's an ocean, right? It's an ocean of nectar. In whichever way you swim, you will only find nectar there. So no worries. Anyways, let's come back to deer's example. So deer is so absorbed in bhakti, in meditating on the Supreme Lord. Eventually, the deer gave up that animal body and became Jada Bharat. Jada Bharat was more spiritually advanced than deer Bharat. So, the Supreme Lord Krishna preserved the spiritual consciousness of the deer, of Bharat Maharaj in the deer body, while giving him an animal body. So, body was like an animal, but the consciousness was like that of a pure devotee or a very serious devotee. And why did the Lord give him a deer body? Why can't he make him another human being and then allow him to meditate in that human form? The answer is simple. The Lord wanted to give an example, give an instruction to all of us through Bharat Maharaj. The Lord engages or utilizes some of his very exalted, pure and mature devotees in giving lessons to common people. See, Bharat Maharaj was distracted. You also be very careful in your bhakti and don't get distracted. And Bharat Maharaj did not have association. When he's overly getting attached to the rear, somebody would have told him, hey, if he's in the association of devotees, somebody would have told him, hey, you're spending too much time with the deer. Come back to this. We are supposed to chant our rounds now. Just like you are sitting with devotees, they'll say, you're spending too much time on smartphone. Please come back. Read Bhagavatam, do something spiritual. So when we are in the middle of 10 people, devotees, then they will remind us. When we are alone, Maya can catch us. We are caught red-handed alone by Maya. Then it's difficult for us to save ourselves. When we are amidst 10 other people, 20 other people, devotees, then Maya will hesitate. Oh, should I catch him? He's too protected now. There's a fence of Vaishnavas around him. I think it's very difficult to penetrate through that fence. So Maya will hesitate to catch us when we are amidst devotees. But when nobody's around us, Maya will, I found him finally, alone. Right time to catch him. I'll make him fall down. Maya is constantly trying to test us. So now he became Jada Bharat, and Jada Bharat was doing many other things. He was purposely acting as a dull-headed personality. He was purposely uh, presenting himself as foolish, ignorant person. His father is trying to teach him Achaman and some other Brahmanical principles, standards, but he's not learning consciously because he did not want to get into any material emotions anymore. And people are thinking that he's a fool, dumb, dull, ignorant person. They were thinking about him like that. See, when you are very knowledgeable and 10 people are committing that you are a fool, definitely you cannot tolerate it. You'll feel the urge to prove yourself. I am not a fool. I am not ignorant. But Jadabharat did not have that urge to prove himself, to establish his glory. It's okay, let people think the way they want. My focus is Krishna consciousness. Oftentimes we become overly obsessed with our public opinion and we don't value those opinions that are supposed to be valued. So Bharat Maharaj's focus is only on Krishna and not so much on uh, what people will think about him. Right? Of course, to some degree, we need to give some importance to public opinion, especially when we are in preaching. So Bharat Maharaj's focus is not preaching here. He has to perfect his life because he has burnt his hands once. So where is the king of this entire tract of land, Bharat Maharaj, and where is this low profile, apparently foolish and ignorant and dumb and dull Bharat Maharaj, Jada Bharat? He's called Jada Bharat. Jada means ignorant. So, but Bharat Maharaj was totally uh, focused on his priorities, right? Did not get into any emotional exchanges with his father, and stepbrothers always saw him as a dumb person and stopped his education after the father's death. So like that, some time passed. It's a very long story. Assuming that you all know the story, I will not narrate the story and I'll get into the final lesson. Bharat Maharaj, Jada Bharat, he did not open his mouth in front of all his family members and people in the locality who were treating him, mistreating him. And Bharat Maharaj also did not open his mouth when some dacoits tried to catch him and kill him in front of Kali Mata. But Bharat Maharaj opened his mouth when King Rahugana forcefully engaged him in carrying his palanquin. You know this, right? You know all these episodes of Jada Bharat's life. The reason is Jada Bharat found that his stepbrothers and other family members in that locality were ignorant, were passionate. They're in Rajogul. Even if he gives them spiritual teachings, they won't be able to grasp them. And the dacoits who caught him and tried to kill him in front of Kali Devi, they were in deep ignorance. They also could not have understood any philosophy. But Rahugana Maharaj, although he is little dominant and authoritative, bossy, still he is in mode of goodness. He has the ability to understand philosophy. Therefore, Jadabharat opened his mouth and gave his teachings to Rahugana. So you see, Jadabharat had discrimination. He did not give his knowledge to people who are not deserving or people who do not have the ability to digest that knowledge. That's why even when we are preaching Krishna consciousness or trying to inspire people, we don't need to overly push people who are very stubborn or people who are not very receptive. You can try once or twice, if they're not reciprocating, fine. There are thousands and millions of souls who need Krishna. Catch those people who are ready for it. That's what Jadabharat did. Jadabharat gave his profound teachings to Rahugana Maharaj, and eventually Jadabharat went back to Godhead. So this Jadabharat's story, or overall Bharat Maharaj's three lives as King Bharat, Dear Bharat, and Jadabharat. These three lives of Jadabharat give us so many lessons, and one prominent thing that we can learn from this whole episode is Krishna's mercy. Krishna is very merciful, extremely merciful. That even if a devotee gets distracted or deviated from bhakti, the Lord somehow manages to bring him back to bhakti. So Bharat Maharaj was distracted at a very advanced stage in bhakti, but Krishna gave him a dear body and made him repent in the dear body. As Jadabharati was repenting, oh my God, Krishna, I'm really sorry for neglecting this process of bhakti. I was overly attached to this insignificant deer and I compromised on my sadhana and I gave up my Krishna consciousness. And he was guilty, he was feeling so bad and he was constantly meditating on Krishna and that guilt was good, that repentance was good for him. The Lord will create a situation where we will repent for our mistakes and that repentance is purification. Genuine repentance is purification. We need to purify ourselves. And eventually he became Jada Bharat and then he went back to Godhead. The Lord is always there. Name bhaktaha pranasyati. My devotee will never perish. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Ananyaschinta yantomam ye janah parvipasate. Tesham nityabhayuktanam. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. I will take care of my devotee in all respects. So once we have subscribed to the channel of Krishna consciousness means even if you want to subscribe, Krishna will say, come back. Like, follow, share. Come back. He will not leave us. He will continuously follow up, bombard your WhatsApp chat box with so many messages. Come back, come back, come back. Right? He will inspire. He will not force, but he will facilitate your coming back to Krishna consciousness. So instead of uh, increasing Krishna's task of bringing us back to Krishna consciousness, let us try to protect our Bhakti Lata and not deviate from Krishna consciousness only. Then Krishna need not bring us back. We are there. We never went away, so that we need not come back. So once we receive this opportunity to practice bhakti, let us value it. And on top of it, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes with extra degree of mercy. He doesn't discriminate who is qualified, who is not qualified. Krishna has certain norms, but Mahaprabhu even more merciful. Patra patra vicharanam na kurute na swam param vikshate deya deya vimarshako nahi nava kala pratiksha prabho sadyo yah shravanikshan pranamana dhyanadina durlabham datte bhaktirasam sa eva bhagavan gaurah param me gati. Prabodhananda Saraswati says, Patra Patra Vicharanam na kurute. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not discriminate between who is qualified and who is not qualified. Patra Apatra Vicharanam na kurute. So without any discrimination, he just distributes Krishna Prema. Patra Patra Vicharanam na kurute nasvam param vikshate. Swapara. These are my people, these are not my people. He doesn't think like that. All are my people only. Mama Vamsha Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. He doesn't differentiate between his intimate associates and others are outsiders. He gives to everybody, provided we are ready to accept. Patra Patra Vicharanam na kurute nasvam param vikshate. Deya Deya Vimarshako Nahinava. Deya Adeya. Should I give him charity or not? Is he eligible to receive this charity of Krishna Prem or not? Deya Adeya. Vimarshako. He doesn't discriminate like that. Deya Deya Vimarshako Nahinava. Kala Pratiksha Prabho. Kala Pratiksha. Another important point. Is it the right time to give him Krishna Prema? Murta is good. What's the time now? He doesn't think like that. Anytime, any place, any person, any way, I'll give Krishna Prema. Just come and accept it. Deya Deyi Vimarshako Nahinava Kala Pratiksha Prabho. He doesn't analyze who is qualified, who is not qualified. Sadyo Yahasravanikshana Pranamana Dhyanadina Durlabham. Shravana means hearing. Ikshana, taking darshan. Pranamana, offering obeisances. Dhyana, meditation. These are different elements of bhakti, sadhana bhakti. So what we are supposed to attain by performing various elements of sadhana bhakti, aspects of sadhana bhakti, is Krishna Prema ultimately. But despite practicing all these limbs of bhakti for a long, long time, still people may not attain Krishna Prema. Sadyo yah shravanekshana pranamana dhyanadina durlabham. That which is very difficult to attain by following different limbs of Vaidhi sadhana bhakti also, the Lord will freely give. Okay, my practice is little poor. It's okay, take it. Oh, I have not yet no performed these yajnas or purificatory processes or samskaras, etc. That's fine, take it. Krishna Prema, take it. For you, really. It's like some you want to purchase something and it is like 1,000 rupees and you have only 10 rupees. 2 zeros missing. Chalega? No, chalega. Right? Okay, 10 rupees. Are you sure? The shopkeeper is giving you 1,000 rupees product for 10 rupees and you're asking, are you sure? 10 rupees, you're okay with it? Yeah, 10. 5 rupees also is fine. Give it. I don't have 5 rupees also. Actually, this 5 rupees I kept for something else. Take it for free. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. That is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's style. Deya Deya Vimarshako Nahinava Kala Pratiksha Prabho Sadyo Yah Shravanekshana Pranamana Dhyanadina Durlabham Datte Bhakti Rasam Sa Eva Bhagavan Gaurah Param Me Gati. Datte Bhakti Rasam. The Lord will give Bhakti Rasa to all these people. Sa eva Bhagavan, that Bhagavan, Gaura Bhagavan, Param Megati, he is my supreme goal, supreme shelter, supreme refuge. So this is this specialty of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna has his norms. But Mahaprabhu is extremely merciful. So Krishna is merciful definitely. But Krishna's mercy is perfect in Dwaraka, more perfect in Mathura, most perfect in Vrindavan. Right? So Krishna is most merciful in Vrindavan. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always absorbed in Vrindavan consciousness, on top of it in the mode of Radharani. So the combined mercy of Radha and Krishna, uh, constantly absorbed in Vrindavan consciousness, we can only imagine how much mercy the Lord can show to all of us. प्रेम नामाद्भुतार्थः श्रवणपथगतः कस्य नाम्ना महिम्ना को वेत्ता कस्य वृन्द वनविति नमः माधुरेषु प्रवेश को वा जानाति राधां परमरसचमत्कार माधुर्यसीमा एकश्चैतन्यचन्द्रः परमकरुणया सर्वमाविश्चकार प्रेमा नामाद्भुतार्थः. Who has described that goal of our life is prema, Krishna prema. Prema nama adbhuta artha. The most wonderful goal of life, human life, is prema, Krishna prema. Who has accepted this goal? Who has set this goal for you? Just like you are going for good distribution. The leaders will set a goal. So we have to distribute 1,000 Bhagavad Gitas in this 2 days or 3 days. Or this September month, we have to distribute say 250 Bhagavatam sets. So they keeps on goal, right? All of us are working towards that goal. But who has set our goal as Krishna Prema, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Prema namadhutartha shravanapathagatah kasya namna mahimnah. And how to attain that goal? Nam. Chant the names of Krishna. Goal is Prema, process is Nama. Once you attain Prema, will you give up Nama? No. This process will continue after attaining the goal also. Eternal process. To attain Krishna Prema, you chant Krishna Nama. After attaining Krishna Prema, you chant Krishna Nama with Krishna Prema. Right? Prema Nama Bhutartha Shravanapathagatah Kasya Namna Mahimna Ko Vetta Kasya Vrinda Vanavipi Namaha Madhureshu Pravesha. If Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not there, who would have understood the glories of Vrindavan Dham? Who would have ever entered into the nectarian glories of Sri Vrindavan Dham? Mahaprabhu has given us entrance into Krishna Prema, Krishna Nama, and Vrindavan Dham. Ko va janati radham paramarasa chamatkara madhurya sima. Who would have understood that Srimati Radharani is the limit of conjugal prema, limit of madhurya? Paramarasa chamatkara madhurya sima. Paramarasa chamatkara madhurya sima. Who would have understood the glories of Srimati Radharani if Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has not come? If Krishna has not come in the form of Lord Chaitanya with the mood of Radha, with the complexion of Srimati Radharani, Radhadhiti. Ekas Chaitanya Chandraha Paramakarunaya Sarvamavishchakara. That one and only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has done avishkar of all these things, of all these transcendental four gifts. Krishna Prema, Krishna Nama, Vrindavan Dham, and Srimati Radharani's glories. All we can do is accept the process given to us by the Acharyas, value it, follow it to the best of one's ability. And when we follow it to the best of our ability, Krishna will increase our ability. Krishna will expand our ability to follow the process. And as we are increasing our intensity and absorption in Krishna consciousness, the process of Krishna consciousness, attaining the goal of life becomes easy. And Let us always be confident that Krishna's grace is our driving force. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grace is our greatest strength. Srimati Radharani's loving glances are our greatest hope. So with all this support, and we have glorious Vaishnava Acharyas like Srila Prabhupada. So with all this support, let us try to practice bhakti. It's easier said than done, but we have to do it with each other's support. I'm saying this, but I have a long way to go to perform my sadhana properly. So I request all your blessings and prayers to be able to do my sadhana nicely and not just speak about sadhana but do my services and do whatever we are doing in the right consciousness as exemplified by acharyas, then Krishna's grace will open doors of spiritual world for us. With this, we'll conclude. These are a few thoughts on the pastime of Bharat Maharaj in his three lives, concluding with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Thank you very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.